You guys, you can't make this stuff up. Did you know that the former head of the FDA used to be the vice president of Monsanto, one of the most destructive chemical companies ever? They gave us Agent Orange, which has made thousands and thousands of people sick, even down the generations that didn't have direct exposure, but the children and even grandchildren of our soldiers who were exposed. Monsanto gave us Roundup, glyphosate, which is destroying our guts and our environment, and we were told for so long that it was safe. So this guy, Michael Taylor is his name, was an attorney for Monsanto, and then he got hired to work for the FDA, went back to Monsanto and became the vice president of Monsanto. So while he was a member of the FDA, his job was to approve chemicals in our food supply. And we've done many, many videos on how the foods that we have here in the US are banned in so many other countries. They're literally almost everybody bans multiple foods that we consume on the regular. And in fact, companies will make different formulations of their products to sell here in the US, where we just let anything in, doesn't matter how harmful. And then in other countries, they'll alter the formula so it doesn't contain those. So I want to tell you what this guy said in front of Congress. He told Congress that the FDA has no confidence that chemicals in our food are safe to eat. There's so many chemicals, they just can't keep track of it, so we just don't know if they're safe or not. Well, I think we can look at the health outcomes and the chronic illness that we have in our country and know, geez, something's different here. We're allowing thousands more chemicals in the food here than people in other countries. In fact, for years, I would have people who moved here from South America or Europe and seek out a naturopath, so they're in my office, and they said to me, I can't believe how fat you guys all are. And I'm like, well, you know, we can't believe it either. And they said, well, it's all the chemicals in your food. It's like common sense. So the less the better. And it's getting to the point that we may even have to grow some of our own. We definitely need to hook up with local farmers and do the best we can to buy the cleanest food possible, because there's no slowdown of what's being allowed in our food. I hand it to RFK Jr. for trying, and he has done some really, really good things, but he's fighting against the FDA. He's fighting against the EPA because the Environmental Protection Agency is not protecting us. It's allowing all kinds of stuff in our environment. And in fact, we almost got a ban of liability for pesticide manufacturers for any damage caused by their products. Thankfully, that was stopped on the national level, but I happen to live in one of two states, I'm in Georgia, that our local government has given pesticide manufacturers immunity for health effects of their products. So we cannot depend on the CDC, the FDA, the EPA. I've known that for many, many years. I've seen the corporate takeover and the corruption. But this next one really surprised me. I was not aware of this, but I am a member of a group called the Rails to Trails Conservancy. And Rails to Trails is a group that supports taking old railroad routes that are no longer in use and pave them over for bicycle use. So you're not going to believe what happened. Now, this was not super recent, but I just heard about it recently. Lots of, in fact, millions of dollars of funding to help convert these trails to, safe places people can ride their bike and walk their dogs and roller skate where they don't have to worry about traffic. These routes are already there. They're not being used. The trains are not using them anymore. But millions were cut because the Department of Transportation, get this, they said that these trail projects are hostile to cars. People, have we completely lost our minds? Like Nigel and I were laughing about this because, what do you mean hostile to cars? Cars have no feelings. But what's happening, you guys, is they're trying to humanize inhuman things, and they're trying to dehumanize all us humans. We cannot let that happen.